Welcome to the debate. The focus today is the Apocalypse of John, the book of Revelation. We're going to be tackling how we should interpret its prophecy, its literary style, and, well, all those symbolic elements. The central question really is this. Is Revelation primarily an immediate warning and encouragement for first-century Christians facing specific persecution, or is it actually a detailed roadmap of universal events, things yet to unfold in the distant future?
And I'll be presenting the case for that universal futuristic scope of its prophetic visions.
While I'll be arguing for the text's immediate historical context, prioritizing its message of endurance for that early persecuted church. So let me start. I think the text itself demands immediate relevance for its original audience. John opens the work by stating the prophecy concerns what must happen very soon, and he stresses that the time is near, right? That's verses 1.1 and 1.3. This strong chronological marker, it seems to me, frames the entire book. It's intended as a message of resilience for servants sharing in the current persecution they were actually experiencing at that time. And this is clear, I think, in the direct letters to the 7 churches there in Asia Minor. These are addressed to real local communities suffering under specific contemporary struggles.
Okay, I see why you'd emphasize those opening lines, but I fundamentally disagree that one sort of temporal phrase should dictate how we interpret the entire cosmic drama that unfolds. I mean, the sheer scope of the cataclysms described, it just cannot be confined to the first-century Roman province, surely. The vision encompasses these sequential judgments, the 7 seals, the 7 trumpets, which dramatically affect a third of the earth, the sea, the heavenly bodies. That's Revelation chapter 8.
Right.
Furthermore, the later climactic events, they describe the beast being given, and this is key, ruling authority over every tribe, people, language, and nation, Revelation 13:7. Now, that language points compellingly toward a truly global, universal reality, far exceeding, I think, any localized historical conflict in the first century.
Well, your reliance on the cosmic language, I think, maybe diminishes the political reality behind the text. Yes, the judgments are cast in hyperbolic, cosmic terms, but isn't that the defining characteristic of apocalyptic literature? It draws very heavily on Old Testament imagery, Daniel, Ezekiel, to describe earthly political crises using this kind of elevated language. But let's actually address the sequence itself, the timing. If the resolution was truly immediate, meant only for them right then, why do the martyrs under the altar, this is after the opening of the 5th seal, why do they cry out, "How long, Sovereign Master?" That's Revelation 6:10. Doesn't that question suggest a significant ongoing delay, a continuing struggle that actually transcends that initial first-century window? It seems to validate the need for endurance across subsequent eras, not just immediate resolution.
Well, that delay you cite, actually, I think it strengthens the futuristic perspective. It shows the timeline is extended. The structure isn't just a series of, scattered historical snapshots. It is a meticulously structured future progression of escalating events. The sequence starts with the 4 horsemen, right? Followed by massive cosmic upheaval affecting the sun, moon, stars. The clear progression from seals to trumpets to bowls, it strongly suggests, mandates even, a structured prophetic timeline for future events. If we prioritize the complexity and the structure of the vision itself, we have to conclude these are profound, universal disruptions that really shatter the confines of just a localized past tribulation.
Okay, but if we follow the political context more closely, we have to turn to the nature of the antagonist, the beast. The portrayal of the first beast rising from the sea, chapter 13, with its 7 heads and 10 horns, that's classic apocalyptic shorthand. It's intentionally drawn from Daniel, chapter 7, and used to symbolize an oppressive political institution. Specifically, I'd argue, the Roman Empire that was actively persecuting the church at that time.
Rome as the beast.
Yes, and regarding the number of the beast, 666, the real insight there, I think, is theological, not some secret code to find a specific person. The number 6, representing humanity's day of creation in Genesis, it inevitably falls short of 7, which symbolizes divine perfection. So 666 signifies humanity's repeated, guaranteed failure and rebellion against God. It's coded language, yes, but meant as immediate assurance for those suffering under Rome's dominion, assurance that their persecutors are fundamentally flawed and ultimately doomed.
I grant the deep symbolic roots in Daniel's, of course, but the imagery for me remains too specific for just a simple historical allegory for Rome. The text grants the beast global dominion over every tribe and nation. That's a reach that arguably exceeded even Rome's vast empire in the 1st century. Moreover, the detail that the beast's head received a lethal wound that had been healed, Revelation 13:3, that strongly suggests a unique future individual, a specific political figure acting as the ultimate counterfeit of Christ. And the call for wisdom to calculate his number implies, I think, definitive identification of this figure, not merely a generalized statement about humanity's inevitable shortcomings.
Well, although the prophecies certainly contain powerful images that resonate throughout history, I still maintain the core message of Revelation remains firmly anchored in that immediate encouragement to obey the things written in it, chapter 1, verse 3, and to remain faithful even to the point of death, chapter 2, verse 10, right in the midst of very real historical trials. It's about validating the suffering of the martyrs back then.
That's a fair point about encouragement, though I would frame its purpose differently. The profound specificity and the sequential nature of these cataclysms, from the 4 horsemen to the precise duration of the beast's reign, given as 42 months in chapter 13, it really compels us, I think, to regard the book as a necessary forecast of a final, universal judgment. It urges believers across all ages to endure and prepare until the kingdom of our Lord has decisively, finally arrived, as it says in chapter 12, verse 10. Clearly, the depth of this material means there's always much more to explore.